morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for making the time to join us this evening. We are so honored and excited to have you today. Today is a very, very special day. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a platform where we demystify issues to do with entrepreneurship and employment. We do this every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time, live on Zoom. So please make a date. We will be here every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now, my name is Grace Nzula. I'm a manager at Panesar Training Institute, a HR consultant and a trainer with Atara Solutions. And we are doing this in partnership with Zalego Academy, a software development and capacity building center, and NG Support Services, a brand management company. Did you know that according to a survey done by Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in 2016, almost 400,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises did not see their second anniversary in the last 5 years? Now, 2.2 million, and please note this is in Kenya, 2.2 million MSMEs closed shop in those 5 years. Now, in summary, I can tell you, it is said that 20% of all small businesses fail within the first year. 33% of small businesses fail within 2 years. 50% fail within 5 years. 66% fail within 10 years. And we are saying we must change that narrative. So this is our third webinar. The first one, we were discussing how to register a company legally. And then we had brand management. How do you get your brand out there? And then we had communication. How do you communicate to your clients? Now, the second one, which took place last week, we discussed how do I know which business to start? Please note, if you missed any of these webinars, they are on our YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to Atara Solutions and you can catch on if you missed any of them. But as always, live is better. So today, it is an honor and a privilege for me and for most of us to be hosting one Mr. Mohan Singh Panesar. We call him Moni. So if you hear me calling him Moni, please, it's his name also. And the man whose last name is synonymous to exquisite and bespoke furniture, the man who successfully spearheaded the Panesar group of companies for over 4 decades. He is a leader, he is a friend, he is a mentor, he is a father, and I have had the privilege of working with him and for him and alongside him for the last decade. Welcome, Mr. Panesar. If you may introduce yourself.
Thank you, Grace. My pleasure. Right, as you've introduced me, my name is Mohan Singh Panesar. Right. Old enough now to have run the business for a long time enough. Educated, born in Eastleigh, Nairobi. Right. Went to Eastleigh Primary School as my primary school education. Eventually moved down to technical high school. And after finishing my technical high school, this was just after the independence, right? Kenya got independence in 1963, and I finished high school in 1968. After finishing high school, obviously, everybody has dreams and all that. My dreams were to become an aeronautical engineer. So fortunately, my parents could afford it. And I went all the way to States and did my aeronautical engineering. After doing my aeronautical engineering, I came back to Kenya, hopefully to be with the family and get a job here. To my surprise, when I came back, Kenya or East African Airways just flopped, and we had small little airlines like Kenya Airways came about at that particular time. I couldn't get a job, and my father asked me to join him. I told him, okay, I need to give it a thought and I will talk and let him know. right? After a few days, having spoken to a few people, I went to a family friend who I thought was the best person to go and talk to. And when I had a word with him, he said, Moni, if I was in your place, I would grab the silver platter. That's the term he used, right? Right. And I sort of came home and told my dad that, okay, fine, Dad, I'll join you. And interestingly, Dad said, thank you very much. And as a family, we were a big family because we had 9 kids and with parents, 11 of us sitting around the table and all that. The next day at lunchtime, my dad announced to the rest of the family members that he's really happy that I've accepted his offer to join him. And, like he put a hand into his pocket and showed me a key. He said, yeah, guy, can you see this key, right? I said, yeah, I can see the key. He said, this key is for a brand new car sitting at Didi Dobi's, right? You can, just because you have accepted to join me, I will give you this particular key of this car, but this key doesn't come alone. And he put his hand into the next pocket and took out a bunch of keys from the next pocket and said, these are the keys for the workshop. You can't have it alone. You'll have to take both of them together. So the responsibility goes with it. A young man and everything sees a key of a brand new car in one hand, and on the other hand, you see a bunch of workshop keys. You have absolutely no choice but to grab both of them. And that's where my start was.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, ups and downs of life and everything like that. I joined the family business in 72. 1974, around that time, my brother, father, they were ready to declare bankruptcy because they had lot money in construction business, which they had started side by side. Went to the lawyer said, okay, we can get you time to pay off people, we can bargain with people. So that's what happened, they got us more time. So within a few years, cleared off the debts and everything like that. Within that particular time and all that, I also got married, right? So here is, you got a bigger responsibility. You got married too. You got your own family to run. You got a business to run and all that. And unfortunately, the biggest thing which has made me what I am today is in 1982, on the 12th of June, the workshop caught fire. So that's the biggest learning point for me, was the workshop caught fire, and while we were standing looking at the fire, the building collapsed. The roof came down. And by 3 o'clock in the morning, right, the fire started at night, so we were there about 1 o'clock in the morning. So by 3:30 in the morning, there was nothing left, right? Father came by, brothers were standing around. And after a few days, Dad said that, really, guys, I don't want to push you. You guys are educated in everything. You've got to make your own mind. See what's best for you, what you want to do. You really don't have to start this business all over again, because woodworking, furniture business is not the easiest thing to do. It needs a lot of involvement, where you really have to put your heart into it to be able to create some beautiful pieces of furniture for other people to admire them. Yeah, had no choice, didn't know anything else, right? So we started the business. Brothers got together, said, okay, fine, we'll start. So we started all over again. That means 1982, just immediately after the attempted coup in 1st of August, right? Had to start all over again, that buying the smallest thing, as we didn't even have a needle, forget about tools, anything like that. You had to go and purchase the smallest thing. And really, people in Nairobi, some of them were very, very fortunate. They knew we didn't have money, absolutely, but yet they gave us goods to start off the business all over again. So that's back in 1982, right? We started the whole thing all over again. And the journey has been really, really exciting, right? Because now, like you have nothing which you were inherited from parents, right? As far as material, it's what you built, you're building for yourself, what you have for yourself. So that's where it is. So as you start enjoying every little bit of it, and you know how much, when the whole fire thing happened and everything like that, we actually had to sell all our personal cars. We were then in a small little pickup, a 1200 pickup. That's all we were left with, because we had to sell our personal cars to put the money into business, everything, all that. And that's how we started all over again. Like little things, big things. You've got to put a lot together. Immediately, we got a tender and we won a tender. This was to supply furniture for the KEMRI, Kenya Medical Research Institute. That was the biggest learning lesson. That was a turning point actually for my life, because the very first day I went to sign the tender document, KEMRI was built by the Japanese. So Japanese were looking at everything. We got the tender, so I went to sign the tender document at Kenya KEMRI headquarters. And welcome, come in, went and sat on the table. The guys who were receiving me there, he says, "Sir, what time is it?" I says, 8:05. They tell me, "Sorry, you are late. You were supposed to be here at 8 o'clock. I said, I'm late because, after traffic. He says, that is the general excuse by Kenyans. They always blame traffic, right? They never keep their time. He said, we are Japanese, right? We keep our time. We are where we are in our life as Japan because we keep our time. He says, okay, we are not going to do anything today, absolutely. No signing the tender, no nothing. Go back to the office, our office, go to the secretary there, get a new timing, then come back. So apparently she gave me the timing of the next day. Next day morning, same 8 o'clock. And I was there well before time, right? Now, you started respecting time from that day because somebody told you that late by 5 minutes, sorry, you've got to get back and start life all over again. So you learn about time. The biggest thing in life is time. When you start respecting time, time then starts respecting you, right? So that's a turning point. And basically, well, you have to enjoy what you do. I personally, I'm a carpenter, right? I basically do a lot with my hands and spend a lot of time in the workshop, in a spray shop. As Panesar, as Moni Panesar, we introduced those beautiful lacquers on wood. We were the first people to do beautiful finish lacquers on wood. Give the wood a different dimension. Right? Originally, what was being done was okay, but it never really gave the wood a beautiful dimension. So as Moni Panesar, I introduced those beautiful lacquers into Kenya's market, right? Doing that, then I spent the next 25 years of my life in a spray booth. 25 years of your life in a spray booth means that you're spraying lacquers every day for a couple of hours. Couple of hours of spraying lacquers, that means you're inhaling a lot of lacquer, spirit, all that. What does that do? That makes you stay high. So really, you stay high because of a job you're doing, but it keeps you in a different form. You are a happy person. So people you're working with, your friends, your wife, your colleagues, they all know you, wow, this is a very happy person. He has a smile on the face all the time. but nobody really knew I was high all the time, right? From all those lacquers. So that was a secret also of success, that you were high, you enjoyed what you were doing, and you continue doing what you are. Obviously, furniture. Let's get back to furniture, my background, what I do best, what I know best. It's like, it's a piece of art, mind you, right? Every little thing is created differently. We don't mass produce anything. At Panesar, we individually cater it for you. It's done specially for you, how you would want it, right? So while doing that, in creating it, right from making drawings, making sketches, making sure the wood is the right, and eventually getting the product done, it gives you immense happiness, right, of going through it every day. There's something new happening every day. You're learning how to go about doing something new, because every client has got their own wishes, and you create things for them the way they would want it. But along the line, while doing things for others, a piece of art, you keep learning slowly of new things that need to be done, new requirements by people, and all that. And that's what basically my life is, and that's what I love to do. Pick up a piece of wood, give it a new form, and that form will be appreciated in somebody's home by somebody for the next couple of centuries, hopefully, right? So it's like giving that particular dimension to timber. What people do, people pick up a stone, dress up a stone, convert it into a diamond, give it an additional value. I do the same thing. I pick up pieces of wood, dress them, give them different finishes, make sure they are appreciated by my clients for the years to come. That's what my life is. Thank you.
That is so good. Thank you very much. I believe we are really learning. And I wanted to ask, how is it different running a business right now than it was 40 years ago?
Well, much bigger challenges, right? Bigger challenges, because 40 years ago, we'll just talk of Kenya, right? Business in Kenya only. We're not talking of international. Business in Kenya, you could not import. There was importation restrictions. So everybody here had no choice but to get furniture locally.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's a requirement, a local requirement. So you were free, actually. You didn't really have to dig deep very much for designs and all that. You were comfortable with a few designs which you kept producing over the years, mm-hmm. and enjoy it. Life was easier at the beginning, right? Then obviously, slowly, you had its own challenges and everything like that. The quality of timber we used to get 40 years ago was much superior timber, right? And the timber did not move, bend, or warp. The quality of timber was good. Over the years, because the timber is becoming more and inferior timber is coming in, it has its own challenges and everything like that. It bends more, it warps more. Originally, that particular time, the requirement of timber, the people who were supplying timber, mm-hmm. they knew about timber. Mm-hmm. And you got quality timber delivered to you, which was pre-seasoned and everything like that. Over the years, those beautiful companies which were supplying good timber, they closed down. Mm-hmm. And we started having timber restrictions and everything like that. So mm-hmm. the timber we get now basically comes in from Congo, comes in raw logs. And those raw logs obviously come from trees which are very young. Mm-hmm. So they get a stress right when they are cut, and the timber remains in stress. So big challenges of the quality of timber you got. Mm-hmm. We have to season our own timber, kiln dry our timber. So the biggest challenge is the quality of timber. the raw materials you get, and obviously the competition you have from the rest of the world now. You've got such a large competition from the rest of the world that people can import furniture, ready furniture from anywhere they want.
Yes.
Right? So that really opens another big horizon for us, right? Bigger challenges, because now we have got to be at that sort of level, international level, doing everything better than what they can get internationally.
Yeah.
So at Panesar, right, we are, I think, the very few people in the world who still do solid hardwood furniture. A lot of mahogany is turned into beautiful, beautiful furniture. Of course, we come to all the artisans, people with the know-how and everything like that. Obviously, my father, with his team and everything, when I joined him, were taught by my father. They knew a lot about what they were doing. Over the years, when I started coming in, obviously machinery became better. Yeah. With a better machinery, you had better challenges because you had to do better designs. People's expectations were like, okay, this is what I want. So those challenges became greater also, right? And that's where we are, really. The business turning challenges then, challenges now. The youngsters now, if you're looking at the youngsters now, right? People leaving colleges, leaving schools and everything like that, how many of them really, really would want to become carpenters, right? We have got a biggest challenge there that, you know, like when you go out with our own people, my own carpenters, right? None of my carpenter earn less than 50,000 shillings a month. And when we ask them to bring in their children to be taught carpentry and everything like that, so they can leave or teach their trade to their youngsters, you know, pass on the trade, none of them really want to do that. So that brought us another challenge in my life. I had to start a school, a carpentry school, whereby we actually now are training youngsters to become carpenters. And there's another excitement now, you know, that's beautiful, right? What the youngsters want to learn and sort of questions they ask, which you got to go back and dig into and find a better answer to give them. And challenges are different again, because these people would like to learn from different tools. The tools available now for them are totally different, which my father used, my grandfather used, right? And which I started off, right? People don't need to use a hand plane anymore, right? The tools are available, electrical tools, which do all the works. So those are the challenge, different things today happening now.
Yeah, someone else is, there's someone who is asking, let me get the question. Mary is asking, how do you deal with competitors and cheap imports to remain a market leader in the industry?
Well, I never thought of that really, because when you are doing the best, really, the way I just said that Panesar still makes the best. What we do, nobody else does what we do. And so we are not competing with anybody. We are not competing with anybody else at all. So there's no real challenge to us.
Yes. And Monohe is asking, switching from aeronautical to carpentry, how did you switch? How did you manage the switch?
Well, good. Thank you for the beautiful question, really. I had to, or I started going to work when I was only 6 years old. My standard 1 class, when I came, the very first Friday I came home from school, my mother was standing outside the house with a lunchbox in her hand. She gave me the lunchbox in my hand. She said, well, this is lunch for you and your dad. Get into bus number, I was 6 years old. She gave me 50 cents in my hand, said, get into bus number 7 and get off at the 4th bus stop. Mangi will be there to take you to work. I was 6 years old, and at the age of 6, I started going to work. My Friday, Saturday, Sunday was at the workshop with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad really didn't just say, okay, guy, come in and you can sit around and all that. He said, you are here and you've got to do work here. 6 years old. That you don't call that child labor or something like that. I don't call it child labor because I wasn't being paid, but I was learning. That in those particular era and everything like that, we were using hot glue. Hot glue means it had to be kept on a Jiko all the day long. So Jiko had to be fired. Jiko in the workshop was fired with sawdust and little offcuts, pieces of wood. My father said, you have got to sweep the workshop, make sure all the sawdust is collected, all the small pieces are collected, and make sure that this Jiko burns all the time, because this is the only Jiko which will make you tea also to have. So I started off there, and in my life every day, like from age of 6 till I did my high school and everything like that, I went to workshop through my vocations. So it was really basically in blood.
Yeah.
You had learned from it. The beautiful smell of glue, timber, and everything was really in you. And obviously, after doing aeronautical and everything, it's your own ability. It's your only horizon which becomes bigger and expands.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, you have learned so much more that you can use your engineering every day. I use my engineering all the day, right? Every day, drawing new pieces of furniture, drawing. That's what we do. We do it to a full scale. And even today, I was doing the same thing. I spent 2 hours of my afternoon just drawing the things to a full scale, having foot ruler, having compasses in the other hand, doing that. And it's like an ability, it's something you have learned. Your horizon has become bigger, so you can use it into a bigger field. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I have seen you do that. So Paul is asking, if you were to start Panesar again, what would you do differently?
I would do differently. Wow, that's a beautiful question, really. I actually would know exactly what I want to create, master a few pieces which I would like, only a few pieces, a few designs which I'll start to manufacture, mass produce. So I would set up my systems in such a way that I can mass produce. So there's less personal involvement when you're mass producing. It's your machinery and a few people who would know exactly what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Maureen is asking, what is one of the hardest decisions you've had to make?
Wow. That was really to start business all over again in 1982. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest decision of the lifetime. And eventually, it's nice that, it was small then, and you could make decisions at that particular era. If I have to make a decision like that now, I don't think I'll be able to make a decision now, because at that particular time and all that, the money required to do whatever was a much smaller amount than what it is, right? And the risk was less. Obviously, when you're using smaller money, the risk is less. Now the risk is much greater. Yeah. So you would only try, if any youngster wants to try whatever business they want. Mm-hmm. You must have a full know-how of what you want to do. Just don't jump into anything where you really don't have knowledge about. You want to try something where you have good knowledge about, and that's what you want to jump into and do. Really.
Yeah. Alan is asking, how did the internet impact the business in the 80s And now, and what lessons can you share around the change of business environment?
Well, sadly, it did, right? On the other side, it's good it happened. All this thing is happening is very nice. From the age and era I come from, I had told myself that, hey, guy, I'm never going to use a mobile telephone, right? I told myself, no, this is something I'm not going to use. I had to pick up, circumstances, things change. So I had to pick up a mobile telephone. Similarly, a computer, no way. I'm not going to touch it, right? I'll be able to do without a computer. You can't do without that also. And of course, now with the age, now all this technology and everything like that, it's helping us a lot, right? So we have got beautiful, beautiful machinery, which is now working for us, doing all this job. And a lot of this machinery is online. We're getting all the design, all the help and everything online by technicians all over the world.
Mm.
So you can see how you gain from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of gain from it. Yeah, when it comes to the same technology of marketing and everything like that, it's a beautiful tool to market too.
Yeah. So James is asking, what is Panesar doing to help in afforestation and growing of quality timber to stop deforestation?
Good, thank you very much, right? Really, we use a lot of timber. We actually cut because we go through such a lot of timber, beautiful hardwood. My heart cries for that. That okay, we are doing this and we haven't done anything in return. Yeah. So from last year on, right, we take it over upon us that we'll help the forest. So we are helping the forest department to grow more trees. So we are involved. So we want to equally give Mother Earth back that what we have taken it from it.
And I can help answer that. I think previously we were joining other people to, oh yeah, I still work for Panesar. We were joining other people to, to plant trees. But since the last year, 2019, we started Adopt a Forest. There's a forest we have adopted where we are planting trees annually. And we are not last year we did about 2,500 trees. And we are hoping to go further this year. So Simon is asking, do you regret not expanding because we do not see Panesar all over town?
Not really, right? It's something you enjoy in life, right? Expanding means you want more money to come in your way, right? More problems you want to take on your shoulders and everything like that. I don't want to do that. I enjoy what I do. So do my people, right? The people working for me, they absolutely enjoy what we do. So really the amount of work which we do really deeply satisfies me what we do. So there's no regrets that we didn't expand. And I really don't want to expand because get offers from all over the world, right? Last month we got an offer from Sudan. They want us to go there and open a workshop in Sudan. They said, okay, we'll finance you there. So did a couple of years, Rwanda did the same thing. Nah, like you're at home, you're peaceful, you're enjoying what you're doing in life. That's what it is.
Okay, I hear you. Someone anonymous is asking, are there classes ongoing or you took a break because of COVID?
Yes, we had to take a break, sadly, really. Okay. But
Yeah.
if you want to one-to-one class, I'll give you one-to-one class. That one-to-one can happen. That's not having
Yes.
a class, but that's just a friendly teaching. Love to do that. One person can come in, spend some time. You want to know something, we'll teach you that.
Yes. Eunice is asking, what is your strength, Mr. Panesar?
Wow, good. Thank you, Eunice. Right. It's basically my people who work for me, or I work for them. We are equally working together. We are a very, very strong team. And that's what my strength is, my people.
Yeah. So Sabina is asking, what are some of the other challenges you're facing in the business?
Smita, not really, nothing. I don't see any challenges, right? The little we do, that's why we don't want to expand, okay? The little what we do, we enjoy doing what we are doing. So when your own expectations are not very big, right? Your expectations are to the limit what you are doing, what you are able to do. So it's really happy and satisfying what is happening and what you can do.
Yeah. And then Benjamin is asking, any tips on how to manage cash flow to keep the business running, or how can an entrepreneur be prepared for long-term financially?
Benjamin, it's the youngsters today, right? Their dreams, they want to become rich quickly, right? And that's the sort of a wrong thing to do. Yeah? You want to start a business and everything like that. I was telling a friend last week only, I said, I'm still driving a 14-year-old car and I have no dream of getting a new car, right? So I don't want to pocket any money out of my business. I just take whatever I require only out of that. And, you know, not too much. It's just to get to the other end every month. And everything else goes into business. You keep putting in more and more into business, keep investing into better machinery, right? Make sure you've got the right sort of people working for you. And that's what's more important, right? Making money, right, is too much money, right, is a big dream, but just getting your day-to-day thing at the beginning for a couple of years, for 10, 15 years, you should just be able to make up your ends meet, right? And then get your footing right. Once you've got solid footing, then of course, then you can start looking at new cars and BMWs and things like that. Then you can go for them.
Yeah. We have a next generation question, 2 questions for next generation. But before we get there, someone is asking, what is the one thing that you would say is the reason for the success and longevity in business?
It's not taking advantage or cheating people, right? If you have to deliver what you have promised, maybe more than that. Yeah. If you are giving your clients, right, what they require, is the biggest secret of business and staying in business, because your client, actually our clients are our salespeople. They sell us, they market us. So that's the biggest secret. You've got happy clients who are satisfied, they'll keep you going.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thomas is asking, and I think there's another question about the same. How, also Emmanuel was asking, how is Mr. Moni managing the transition from himself to the next generation?
Well, I'm trying, right? I have got, my son is with me, and obviously I've got a team, a more successful team around me who'll make this happen. They're educated, they've got enough knowledge to go about doing it, and together they should be able to do it.
And then Cyrus is asking, what do you look for when you're setting up a team?
Somebody like me. who can, who has got ideas like me and has got an ability to perform in a different fields, right? Mm-hmm. To be successful, to run a business, you have got to know your business very, very well and all the different sections of your business. And fortunately, I know all that. And yeah, for my team leaders, that's what I'm looking for, team leaders who have got an ability to be, play in all different fields. It's mentoring people all the time, right? It doesn't matter at what level you are, at what level your people you're counting on, they have to be mentored all the time. So it's keep mentoring people to a level which they will grow to and appreciate what you're getting from them or you're teaching them.
Yes. I am his product, just so you know. And Bonaya from Isiolo is asking, I heard you said you don't have any competitor. Does it mean you enjoy monopoly?
Yeah, we definitely do, really, right? Sadly, very sadly, all the people who were competing with us have closed down. That's what Grace was talking at the beginning, how many businesses actually have failed, really.
Yeah.
All the old-timer businesses who were with us, they didn't change in time. Sadly, they had to close down. And right now, really, at the age, the level, and everything, what we do, what Panesar does, with only people, like not only in Kenya, I would think maybe in Africa, really. There might be a few hidden people in South Africa or in Egypt who are doing what we do, but nowhere else.
Okay. And then John is asking, how long did the business take you to be stable in terms of paying your employees and adding more into the business?
Wow, see, the thing is, okay, what I've gone through over the years, right? I told you, my dad started business before I was born in 1948, right? My elder brother joined in 69. I joined in 1972. 1974, the family was ready to declare bankruptcy. 1982, the workshop caught fire, so I had to start all over again. When you go through all this, really, okay, then you have people who actually walk the path with you, who have, I have people with me who have been with Panesar for over 40 years, really. They are your backbone. You have got to look after them as one of you. So that's a secret of your workmanship, good quality work, which we do, is the sort of people whom we have with us and how we look after them.
Yeah. So Jane is asking, what do you do? What you do is very beautiful and creative. Sorry. How can we get more young people to take up the course?
Well, we want to do that. We started it off. We have started an institution, a training institution. Not only youngsters, really, this has to be basically adults. But the secret of good carpenter, if you want to become a good carpenter, are we talking of running a business, or are we running of a carpentry, right? If you want to run a woodwork businessman, you have to know the carpentry business yourself to be successful. So you have to learn about carpentry. The younger you are, the better it becomes to learn anything, even for business and all that. So that's what you've got to do.
Jane is also asking, how do we make more young people join the craft industry?
Well, we have to introduce them, right? And introduce them to in a very good way. They have to be brought over and shown, the carpentry is not only about cutting timber with a saw and just nailing it. It's a beautiful art. There's so much involved in doing good carpentry. Today, because of the technology, the age and everything like that, there is a lot being done with computerized machines. And all the youngsters and everything are really, really good at computers and everything like that. So it would be a really beautiful challenge, right? To bring them in and show them, they can fulfill their desires. With these beautiful machines can actually fulfill their desires because they can basically create anything they want to.
Okay. Moni, everyone wants to have a part 2 of this. Before we get to part 2, we have to finish part 1. So someone else is asking, Gad, can you encourage young people to venture into technical jobs? I think you have answered that. And then we have 4 people asking, what you do with yourself when you're not in the workshop or when you're not forming wood? The other question is, how do you begin your day and when does it end? The other one is asking, what do you do to relax and distress or deal with stress? And the other one is asking, how do you look after your health in business, in your busy schedule? What gives you the stamina to soldier on? So I think you can answer question 1 and 2, which is related. What do you do with your time when you're not forming wood? Or what do you do for fun?
Well, I don't do much for fun, telling you very frankly, right? Uh, my life is basically wood, right? My dreams are about doing what I can create better. That's what my dreams are. And so I really don't do anything else apart from work. You know, when you dream, your dreams are work. So what else you want to do?
What time do you start your day and when does it
Well,
end?
that's interesting. So that's what you want to know, isn't it? Right? I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Right? That's why my day starts at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm out in the garden of my beautiful house for the next 40 minutes. Do all my stretch ups in the garden. Have a cold shower. Right? That's a secret of good health. Have a cold shower and have a timetable for your lifestyle. I'm out of home by 6 o'clock, at work at 6:20, and spend my rest of my day there. That's what my day is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you
And
look after your health?
I don't have to do much for my health. Very fortunately, I'm walking around in the workshop. I walk around more and do more work, physical work. So I really don't have to look after my health of going to a gym or something like that. I do enough physical work in the workshop. So that gives me a good health.
Uh-huh. And I can help you answer what you do for fun. He is normally left in the workshop after 4 p.m. after everyone has left. He draws and you should see him smiling with that protractor and the big T-square. So yeah, I have answered that for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Rogers from Kampala. Thank you for tuning in, Roger. And yes, you can have tea with Mr. Panesar through me when the borders open.
Yeah,
He wants to
sure.
have tea with you. Yes. What else? What would be your advice for someone starting out a business and why to pay himself? How to decide what to pay? I really like that question, Cyrus. Thank you very much for asking.
Well, paying is like you have to take minimum. When you've started a business and everything like that, you need to survive only at that particular time. Is only your survival. Like your dreams should be your survival, your family's survival only. When my father started a business and everything like that, he says his biggest responsibility, right? He's looking at his responsibility is to make sure that his family had a roof over their head. He could feed them and send and educate them. That was his responsibility. There was no responsibility of anything else, right? Well, that was, I've grown up with that and all that. When once my own pair of shoes were stolen, and when my mom came to know that my pair of brand new shoes were stolen, she says, sorry, like you cannot just have another pair of shoes. There are other kids on the line, they'll have their turns first. All I have to do is get your pair of shoes repaired. So you'll have to do with your old pair of shoes for a couple. That's where it is, right? When you're starting a new business, you have to put more and more into your business to make your business successful. If you start siphoning money out of your business, you're not going to take it anywhere. You have to develop your business. It becomes your responsibility to develop it, not to siphon it and take from the business. The business is not going to feed you. You have to feed the business for it to grow. You need to know that. Let the business grow first before you can get the fruits of it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. The other question I wanted to ask, I know we had this conversation over the weekend about innovation. because someone was asking, what has happened to your business in the last 3 months in the light of COVID?
Fortunately, we have been busy,
Mm-hmm.
really. Sitting around and all that, we have been able to use more of our machinery, which we weren't using, right? Today, we have all our CNCs working, and we are doing beautiful work with it, right? Personally, my own self and everything like that, okay, like NEMA came over, people from NEMA came over and said, hey guys, we see smoke at the backyard and you need to take care of that. You just cannot have smoke there. Why is there smoke there, right? Obviously, we were burning sawdust and everything like that. Now we had to get rid of that smoke because we have to do justice to the environment. We just cannot keep burning that and be really stupid about the environment. We are looking at the climatical changes. So right now I'm building a beautiful kiln, a burner there, which will now be able to give us steam, right? We are going to start using this hot water and steam to start bending timber. So once we start bending the timber and everything like that, that means we won't have to cut so much timber around to curve it and all that. We'll start bending it. So this is what we are working on today. We are investing money into a system which will give us hot water from the sawdust and the wood we are burning, which will eventually give us steam, and we are going to use this steam to start bending the timber. So this is the biggest step that's happening in my life right now. It'll be a biggest achievement once we do it, because all the beautiful curved timber furniture we make, we cut the timber around. We won't have to do that anymore. We'll just bend it. So that's what's happening
Innovation.
right now in my life. There's something I'm enjoying to do.
Excellent, excellent. And then almost the last question. We are currently seeing a lot of business going online. Are there ways that customers can have consultations, designs, and items delivered without having stepped into the workshop?
Sure. That the guys are doing that, right? The salespeople are doing that. They help you do that. And the designers are doing that too, because the designers are doing it online. We have got 4 in-house designers, so they'll be able to help you in any way you want to.
Yeah. And then we have Winnie and Eileen who are asking, what is the minimum requirement to join the academy? And are we starting online classes soon?
Online classes will be very, very difficult, really. This is a very physical thing, really. You have to come over and learn. It's all very practical thing. Yeah, what's a minimum requirement? It's really what you want to do. It's what your heart is telling you to do. If that's what you want to do, you want to learn carpentry. We've got a young girl who's with us, and she has her own wild ideas of what she's doing. And it's interesting to see what she's doing, right? So really, if you've got all those wild ideas, what you want to do with timber and everything, like, come along, we'll help you.
Excellent. So before we finish, because I'm seeing we have about 2 minutes to go, maybe we can take the last question, but the comments are amazing. Everyone is commending you for the good work you've been doing. And Roy Sasaka, I don't know whether you remember him. He's saying he's honored to have shared a platform with you when we were greening the country last year at Kereta Forest. So Simon is asking, as a well-traveled person, you must have come across countless business opportunities and ideas that you could have replicated here. How did you maintain the razor-sharp focus in your business and avoided those new shiny ideas, as we call them?
Wow. The thing is, I have mentioned somewhere, right, that one should get involved in what you know the best, really. Yeah. Start jumping into things which you have no ideas, right? A lot of friends, a lot of business people they want you to venture into other things, but are you really going to enjoy doing something which you have, no heart into, no mind into, really? For me, it's always been that I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I would like to keep doing that. So I really didn't want to jump into it. Obviously, there was a time and everything like that when back from the aeroplanes and everything, the cars meant a lot, really. When as a young man, you're driving cars fast, you want better cars. So people did talk to you that let's have garages and all that. Yeah, but not really. That's not what you really, really want to do and enjoy. For me, it's like enjoying what I do, enjoy my life. And that's what it is.
That's it. So the final question comes from Caroline. Apart from furniture, which other business have you invested in or taken interest in?
None.
You have money. You are running the school. You have Circle Academy. You have Panesar Limited.
Well, that's the family.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
That's family. What we do is like the family. Personally, I haven't ventured into anything else. Really, the academy, yes, for sure, right? I did want to pass my skills, whatever I've learned, to youngsters who want to become carpenters and everything like that. Not even youngsters, even adults who would want to learn about carpentry, would do things with wood. I want to pass on what I've learned, my ability to that. That's how the academy started off, right? But everything else, the Circle Academy and all that, that's the family's thing, not mine.
Yes. Yes, so if you'd like to know more from Mr. Panesar, he has an office, an open door policy, where he sits every day, so you can pop in and he will have, you can have a cup of chai with him as you walk around the workshop and see the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful designs he creates with the wood. Final question, Mr. Panesar. How can we help our fellow Kenyans be able to have businesses that run beyond them, beyond the founders?
Beyond the founders, really. Okay.
Yes.
Really, Grace, it's like having respect for the people who started the business. Really going back to history and see the struggle they had been through to start the business. Really. What did they go through the era of getting the business to a level where they're going to just jump in and start enjoying it? They need to appreciate, go back, really.
So we need to get our young people to start appreciating the things their fathers are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. I think this has been an awesome time. I wish we had another hour with you. And for sure, I promise we will have a number 2. And someone else was asking whether you intend to keep it family or you want to take your business public.
Well, for me, it's I haven't given it a thought. It would be the next generation which has to decide on that.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Panesar, for your time. Our listeners and viewers, thank you very much for joining us today. If you missed any part of this discussion, we shall have it uploaded on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Atara Solutions, ATARAH. Please go there and you can find more of what Mr. Panesar started with. And we shall see you again next Tuesday. We shall be discussing what do customers want. I mean, we have been told where to start, how to keep, the resilience, what you need to run a business. I can repeat what Mr. Panesar has said, respect time and time will respect you, feed you business and the business will feed you, deliver quality and stay true to your quality, and then it will pay back. Discipline financially and with time, adapting to change, innovating, have the right people working for you. I could go on and on and on, but well, thank you very much, guys. We shall see you on Tuesday, same time, same place. I've been your host, Grace Nzula from Atara Solutions and Panesar Training Institute. I will see you next week. Eric of Zalego Academy, thank you very much. Nyaruai of NG Support Systems, thank you very much for partnering with us. And we shall see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Have a lovely night. Thank you, Mr. Panesar.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.